What's up YouTube? Daniel back here for another video. So don't have a mic for this one. I'm not sure if you're hearing the sound in the background, but essentially I want to make a quick video about something that has been on my mind. I want to share, and something I'm also going through that connects exactly with this. So essentially, just being authentic here and trying to share things that can help you guys, because I realized that these past few months, as I've been going into the health niche, essentially, me being able to use food in the past to put my psoriasis in remission, manage it currently, and not having to take medications, it has given me a bit of an ego. Essentially, me thinking that I don't need a doctor, I don't need help from anybody. I figured it out. Food is the answer, and as long as I put on the right ingredients and the right food and the right habits, and I can basically overcome everything. And what I was given was a message. I believe it's from God, and essentially the reason I say that is because currently, over the past few months, I have been battling with something that I do believe is an ulcer, stomach ulcer. Basically, symptoms have been things like, when I'm fasted, just burping, sometimes there's been pain in the stomach. Recently, it's been weight loss, to the point where it's like a big jump. This was probably just yesterday, but there has been fluctuations with it. And essentially, it's gotten me to the point where, I have to go get it checked out and see what's going on. But what I'm getting to is, when you get to into something, or get to the results of something, for me it's health, you can develop an ego, and I think health is a new one. I'm seeing it, the space is, it's almost like people are comparing their health, or how healthy they are, or like their place and biohacking. I saw a video on YouTube about that, essentially, like, I think it's called like the healthiest house in the world. But essentially, these people, myself included, that was getting to the space, are always looking for things that'll make them, like, give them that edge. Like, for instance, there's one right now that I saw of, wearing wired headphones instead of wireless ones, because supposedly radiation, over time is going to hurt things. So little things like that, that could make a difference in the long term. What I realize that actually makes the biggest difference is letting go, like just faith. And fear is the opposite, and that's control. That's tied to control, and that's tied to basically trying to make sure everything is controlled. So, like the example I gave you, with basically like the healthiest house in the world, like, you can't control every aspect of your life to the point where you think you're gonna live forever, or like if you do these things, like, you're ahead of everybody else. What I've realized is the people that actually live the longest and have the longevity in life are people that let go. Like, there's examples of people that live to 100, that smoke, that drink, that eat maybe like a cheat meal a week, something like that. So you trying to manage, me talking to myself more than the person watching, but trying to manage every single thing is actually going to make you more unhealthy than it is healthy. And health isn't just the food you put in your stomach and the habits you have. I'm realizing it's all different aspects. So there's like there's dietary health, there's physical health, mental health, there's social health, spiritual health. There's so many different areas that if you just focus, like for me, focusing on just dietary health and physical health, I neglected all these other three. And this is what actually brings you true, genuine health, peace, and happiness. My whole goal with this page was to share, what I was using with food in order to make me, dietary healthy, or digestively healthy, or physically healthy. But then, I got a wake-up call with this, condition. I don't know what it is. I'm going to get tested on Friday. Right now, I'm shooting this video on a Wednesday, but it just goes to show that control and ego is all the devil, and these are things that if you let it consume you, like it consume me, with the ego is saying, like, also to the point of saying, like, why don't go to the doctor, and like dermatologists, like, fuck dermatologists, they don't know what they're doing. basically that point of my ego was basically coming up, and I realized that yeah, I don't have it figured out. Like it's just me being authentic and sharing this, and then not trying to put a facade and say that because I've used food to heal my psoriasis, now I'm able to do anything with food, and I don't need a doctor. I just need these combinations of foods and my macros and my habits, and I'm good to go. No, there's so many different aspects that I've been neglecting, and I want to share with you so you don't basically go through the same mistakes. Things of, you could say, isolating myself, you could say socially, just to get certain habits on point. Things like making sure I go to bed at the same time every day, wake up at the same time, or trying to go to bed at the same time every day, but definitely waking up at the same time every day. And there's nothing social events, especially where I reside, which is Toronto. But this has neglected the social health aspect. Spiritually, I have been getting better in that area, and that's thanks to my mentor, Yados, who was able to help me. Before, I didn't believe in too much in that. I believed in myself, and also an ego thing. So thinking that if I accomplish something in one area, I don't need anybody else, and I haven't figured out. But where I want to go with this is, you trying to control every aspect of your health is actually the healthiest thing you can do, and you have to begin to realize that it's more about letting go than tightening and trying to control. So if you currently are in a place where you are trying to get healthy physically or digestively, trying to get better food, removing shit food from your diet, things like that, realize that those are two components of it, but you have to make sure your social health is on point as well. Mentally, you're healthy, like you're having the right thoughts, thinking the right things, affirming yourself, making sure that you have a direction you're going, and not letting any negative thinking, overthinking, which is another thing. I made a video about this before, but overthinking is the devil, and just not letting overthinking consume you to the point where you're just living in fear. And then you can say romantically healthy as well. So having relationships, not neglecting, whatever you're into, if it's the opposite sex, if it's same sex, not neglecting those romantic relationships, because those are the things that give you the most joy. They release oxytocin in the brain, so the safe chemical, and this is something that is key. Sorry, I was rudely interrupted by a friend, but yeah, I was mentioning the aspects are super important. Romantic one is the one I've found is one that's super key, even for men. You could say women are basically designed to develop in environments where they're safe. So oxytocin obviously helps them more, but men as well, just gives you a peace. And for anything to do with nervous system, which is where psoriasis, skin disorders come in, it's just your nervous system, activated and overly active. It helps to calm it down. It brings you peace, especially if it's a good romantic relationship. It's someone that brings you peace. You're able to be around them 24/7. There's no basically weird energy there. You're able to grow together. You're able to enjoy time together. That's super key and helps you to heal as well. So if you're trying to do things by yourself, for me, for instance, great example, there's things that you miss out on, like these things. So the point of the video is, don't focus so much on one aspect of health. Understand that there's 5 or 6 that I mentioned: digestive, physical, mental, social, spiritual, romantic, 6. And as long as those 6 are in order as much as possible, that's when you'll actually get the biggest benefit. Don't neglect 4 for 2 or 3 for the other 3. Try to get all of them balanced. And like I said, the people that you see now in the space that are claiming to have it figured out and then they live to 100 and they have everything biohacked, they get outshone and outlasted by people that just there's people in Italy that are just smoking cigarettes, drinking wine, time with family, time with friends, their romantic relationships, they're in the sun. They have all the areas figured out, as opposed to the one guy that's just biohacking but doesn't have a good relationship with maybe his family, a ranter person, something like that. So yeah, just wanted to share that. Like I said, just share essentially what's going on, be authentic, and not hide anything anymore. And yeah, like I said, in the beginning of the video, nothing is figured out for me either. I'm getting messages from God every day telling me, you know, that there's still more work to be done. But like I said, the whole purpose is to help you guys where I can in areas that I've figured out. So for me, it's food, using that to live drug-free from psoriasis. If you want help with that, you can reach me on my Instagram, and we can talk more there. If you did get any value from the video, like and subscribe. More things that will be coming based off, you know, anything I'm going through, anything I want to authentically share that I feel like can be some value for you guys. But like I said, focus on all 6 aspects. Don't just focus on 1 or 2, and you'll see the biggest benefit from that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you stay till the end, much love. Other than that, all the best of luck. And in the meantime, keep killing it.